first at 10, voters across our state hitting the polls today to choose who they think should be the Democratic presidential candidate come November. And the numbers are coming in quickly with Joe Biden as the projected winner here in Michigan, as well as Mississippi and Missouri. We have crews across West Michigan tonight keeping tabs on our race.
But first, we want to go out to Annie Satowski live in the election center with a look at the numbers that are coming in so far. Annie.
Yeah, Derek, Janice, still some long lines tonight when the polls closed at 8 o'clock here in Michigan. Our state, of course, the biggest race to watch tonight, the biggest prize, too, among the 6 total states hosting primary races today. Now, as we told you on Facebook Live, just after 9 o'clock tonight, the Associated Press and Fox News are projecting that former Vice President Joe Biden will win the Michigan primary once all those votes are accounted for. Our state with 125 delegates up for grabs. Even so, we're going to take a look at those numbers coming in all across the state. We'll take a look here. You can see, again, Joe Biden, the projected winner, with 56%. Bernie Sanders coming in with 42%. Keep in mind, there's only 46% of precincts reporting, so we're still waiting for all those numbers to come in. But we are seeing numbers come in all across the county by county, in fact. So here is a look at where Kent County sits right now. Still early on in this process, only 26% of precincts reporting. Bernie Sanders leading here, though, with 51% of the votes. Joe Biden coming in with 47%. So that is in Kent County. We're going to switch gears here to Kalamazoo County in the Democratic presidential primary. Again, still very early on here, but Bernie Sanders yet again with 50% of the votes, 49% Joe Biden. So 1 percentage point there. Don't forget the plus and minuses here. 98% of precincts reporting here, so those will likely stand. Now, again, Fox News and the AP are projecting a win for Joe Biden here. As we mentioned earlier, we need to keep in mind that the Secretary of State said yesterday that we may not see a clear Michigan winner until late tonight or early into tomorrow, possibly due to the overwhelming amount of absentee ballots that were cast this year. Now, of course, we will be on top of things as those final results come in. But for now, live in the election center, Annie Satowski, Fox 17 News.
All right, Annie, thank you for that. Our Doug Reardon, meanwhile, in Grand Rapids with more on Joe Biden's growing momentum heading into today's results. Joe? Doug, excuse me.
No problem, Derek. Yeah, no, it was. He had a lot of momentum coming into this race. And we know that after he picked up a bunch of endorsements before Super Tuesday and had what some would even consider some unexpected success on that primary just a week ago. And now we're looking at him as the winner of Michigan by a pretty commanding margin. And that was expected if you want to go by polling data. Recently, 2 polls, one from Monmouth University, one from our own Detroit Free Press right here in the state, came out showing Biden with about a 20 to 21 point lead, respectively, in those polls. And that seems to have held true. What was interesting was the same set of polling data 4 years ago showed that Hillary Clinton had just about the same lead over Bernie Sanders coming in to the primary here in Michigan. And as we all remember, she ended up losing by 2 percentage points. So history seems not to have repeated itself here today with Biden being the commanding winner. But even in speaking to those polling numbers before voting started today, yesterday he talked to our sister station in Detroit, WXYZ, about that commanding polling margin. Here's what he had to say about it. He wasn't buying into it much.
I've worked like hell for every vote here I can in the state. I don't expect anything. I just hope I've been able to earn the votes, and I don't take anything. I'm not a pundit. I don't take anything for granted until the polls close, and we'll see. I think it's going to be, I hope to do well, but, you know, the polls have been wrong before.
And now we know, of course, the polls were, in fact, right, at least as of this hour. We are expecting Joe Biden to make an announcement on his successful day here from Philadelphia any moment now. So we will, of course, bring that to you live when it takes place. For now, though, we are live in Grand Rapids. Doug Reardon, Fox 17 News.
Thank you. We continue our coverage now with Aaron Parsajian, who's live in Grand Rapids, where supporters of Bernie Sanders had their offices set up. Aaron?
Yeah, Janice, obviously not the outcome anyone in this campaign office wanted here tonight. They were working hard throughout the day up until polls closed, and they took off right when that race was called right after 9 p.m. tonight. But one of the things that was impressive about the Sanders campaign, at least as it relates to Grand Rapids, is that ground game, the grassroots movement they've had here in West Michigan and beyond. We spoke with a volunteer today who has been traveling state to state to help campaign for Bernie at each stop. He spent the last 2 days in West Michigan and says regardless of the results that came in tonight, the movement doesn't stop.
The Grand Rapids office, I've been here since yesterday. Last night I was here making calls and the door was it was a revolving door. It was literally not one or two people trickling in, but constant, steady stream of people like myself who are volunteering their time. The movement, not a political campaign. If you're really about movement work, you know that you don't win on an election and you keep fighting for issues.
And we'll be waiting to see if Sanders addresses the public tonight despite the cancellation of his rally planned in Cleveland. For now, live in Grand Rapids, Aaron Parsegian, Fox 17 News.
All right, Aaron, thank you. We continue our team coverage now with Angeline McCall, live where the hard work is being done to count your ballots in Kent County. Angeline?
Yeah, Janice, you would never know because it's so quiet in here, but this is the hub of where all the counting is being done for the ballots in Kent County, and it's definitely no easy task. We're looking at 27% of precincts reporting as of right now. We're about that. And in this county, there are over 450 precincts and more than 470,000 voters. So big task here. And the county clerk here told me that they had to really start looking at those absentee ballots and counting those this morning just so that they wouldn't get behind.
We've been processing absentee ballots all day long across Kent County. That's what the process is. So we don't want to get caught running those late. We've encouraged all of our local clerks to start right when the polls open if they're able to.
Now, absentee ballots could total up to 10% of all ballots cast. From the 2016 primary to today's primary, we're already seeing a 123% increase in people casting absentee ballots and taking that early voting option. This year, they sent out 60,000, and those who did vote today definitely had a test in patience. Some people we spoke to stood in line for 2 hours or more so that they could cast their ballot.
Well, I got here about a half hour ago, so I've been here for quite some time trying to find my way and make sure that everything's okay. But yeah, it's been pretty grueling trying to wait here. So
a lot of people feel like their vote might not matter, so I think that's a big deterrent. And I don't know, I think every little bit matters. I feel like kids should get out there. Anybody should, you know.
The elections director told me that he got in today at about 6:30, and they really don't expect to get out of here anytime soon until all of their work is done. But it could definitely be late tonight, possibly even early tomorrow morning. But at this point, that's still up in the air. Live in Grand Rapids, Angeline McCall, Fox 17 News.